everybody, and welcome back to the Amazon EU Masters. We're getting ready to go into game number 5 of the day. This will be the Super League's Team Heretics taking on the Dark's SK Prime. Team Heretics taking first over in Spain, a kind of almost new team to the scene, showing up kind of out of nowhere. They played during Challenger Series way back when, I believe, but other than that, they've been a team who, you know, we've not really seen too much from.
No, they are effectively, they've shown up in 2020, made a bit of a resurgence, and whilst spring wasn't that hot, I'm looking over just to remind myself. This summer, however, looked a lot better. Top 2 finish in regular, into playoffs win against Giants. They are coming in as a pretty solid favourite, I feel, from Spain.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we had that interview just then from Camille saying, French teams, they are the top 4 teams at the tournament. Feels like when you're scrimming against the other teams in the other regions, they are, you know, they're a little bit of a step below. I feel like some of the community perception around Heretics, though, has been quite positive, to the point where they're saying these guys could actually also make it all the way, pending, you know, solid, maybe knockout stage draw. Yeah. But first, they have to get through the groups, and this is, of course, their opening game against SK Prime.
Well, keep in mind, this team are joining the LEC next year. Yeah. Like, they have a lot to prove here. They need to have a good EU Masters performance just to say, look, we are a serious team and we are here to dominate Europe in not just the ERL stage, but also over in the LEC itself. Immediately, the bans have gone through. We're into that Lucian pick up first here for Aibo. So expecting to see that Nami go down in the bot lane. Sorry, not for Aibo, sorry, for Jackspektra. Expect to see that Nami Lucian bot lane show up here for the side of Team Heretics. We'll see what SK Prime are going to look to pick up as their response. The Sejuani is going to be their first lock-in, though.
Yeah, the Sejuani, they could set themselves up for a really strong top side, right? Something like Viego, Wukong, both pretty good. But when you see Lucian Nami, or the Nami probably coming in the next rotation, you probably want to go towards your bottom lane, or at least one of the two. Otherwise, you're going to start to kind of struggle for solid answers into it. Plenty of AD still up and available, though. It's only really Draven that's been banned away, so we'll see what SK and Gadget in particular wants to go towards. It seems like Comfort here in the Aphelios. Quite a few games as 3rd most played, technically 2nd tied with the Lucian this split, so definitely no stranger to it. Now expect to see Heretics go towards that Nami, but then also a setup jungler, I think, for bluerzor. Just looking for someone that can sort of supplement a lot of the pressure, play the 3v3s out really well.
Well, we'll see what they're going to look to pick up here, expecting that Nami to get locked in, which it does. Now moving over to the next pick up here. This could be a little bit interesting if they do decide to lock this in. Keep in mind, Aibo is very much a Gnar player. Really likes to pick up that Gnar. So if you do decide to pick up a Sylas and put it in the mid lane, and Gnar makes it through the next ban phase, there is, you know, that's pretty good for you, because you're not just giving a Gnar ult for free over to the enemy team. Okay. But they decide not to lock that in, go towards the jungle here, and pick up the Wukong for bluerzor.
Yeah. Honestly, I like this, though, because you kind of split apart that Sejuani Wukong is such a strong diving duo, but also it sets yourself up for a very strong top side 2v2 and even 3v3, because realistically, SK Prime could have gone towards that Wukong, picked up their support on R4, and then looked to pick up a mid lane counter pick and then have a solid, strong top side from the get-go. SK Prime, however, kind of look towards the Renata. It seems like they're going to be happy to snap this one up. Solid scaling. We know what the Renata is capable of doing. Can really shut down a lot of dives. Now SK Prime have the opportunity perhaps to just kind of strip away some of the top lane answers into the Sejuani. But also, I think it's very important to note we start to see the flexibility return to the Sejuani. Yeah. Sejuani starting to actually end up in the jungle a little bit more. So there is still a lot of flexibility there. And with that in mind, SK could look towards these mid lane picks instead that kind of give a lot of setup to Wukong, like that Lissandra. Could even see the Ahri also banned away from Zwyroo. It's one of his most played champions. Taliyah as well. Really strong, solid option that duels quite well and gets towards the side lanes crucially, and could be one of those picks that sets up that Nami Lucian.
Well, seeing that Sylas actually getting banned away, to me, that screams what I expect to see a Gnar getting picked up here for Aibo. They thought about picking it up. They don't want to even give it as an option over to SK Prime, because it is technically still flexible, especially with that Sejuani being able to flex between top and jungle itself. Just don't want to deal with that champion. We saw what it was capable of doing last game. Just going to ban it away. And then I expect to maybe see this Gnar come in. I'm curious to see what the next answer is going to be, but SK Prime maybe leaning a little bit towards something They can put in that mid lane. That Taliyah is a champion we have seen time and time again recently in the mid. It has been so effective and so powerful, and especially into what is currently quite a short-range team from the side of Team Heretics. You don't want to be jumping over the Unraveled Earth. It's going to really mess them up, so we'll see what they're going to look to pick up here as their last rotation here in this pick phase.
Yeah, I think the crucial thing to know is that Zwyroo's champion pool is actually quite pinched here. There's 5 mid lane bans. All of these champions are basically in his top 5 played, so he's going to have to dig relatively deep. He has picked up things like the Akali and like the Syndra. It's only one-time plays this split. Still very much capable. Aibo is going to go towards a tank. Who would have guessed? Has a little bit more engage. On top of that, Wukong, you need some of those kind of champions to facilitate the mid-game power that Nami Lucian can bring, and Ornn can definitely be that. And Zwyroo's going to go towards something a little more static inside of this Viktor here into what should probably be Phantomles' Taliyah. But also, you still have to kind of remember, Taliyah, very much flexible. Eckas does play it as well.
Yeah.
So still a lot of cards to be shown here from SK Prime, but we'll have our answers likely revealed here in this final rotation. It's going to be a Camille pickup. Camille's going to go up into that Ornn. So I expect, of course, Sejuani jungle. For some reason, I was like, Sejuani mid? No, it wouldn't happen. Sejuani jungle, top side, strong melee setup, kind of works the same way, right? It's just in reverse. You've got that very strong, immediate burst CC combo from the permafrost, from the hookshot. The setup is just there. The dive threat in the mid game also very capable of happening. Now they also have the possibility of Phantomles moving over 2 side lanes with that Taliyah as well. And that could be really huge. Having first move when you've got such a strong bottom side on the opposite side for Heretics, where you're likely trying to funnel loads of these resources, could play a massive part in trying to shut that down.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually do like the kind of the Ornn pickup here, just because the side of Heretics are actually very short range, and that does give you, some ability to have some long range engage, but also, that disengage option as well. If you do just get jumped on, the Sejuani, the Camille, that's going to be scary, especially if you're playing topside right now, though. That is probably the biggest moment, the biggest worry that Aibo has is he could just get absolutely obliterated early, and then that just enables Alois to go into the side lane and just continue to split push and really take over the side lane. So, I'm interested to see what the play pattern is going to be. I'm curious to see where you think they're going to be playing through as we get into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think relatively defined if we start with Heretics, even though you asked me about SK Prime. Start with Heretics, they're on the blue side. It's just about playing through bot, right? You've got this weak side top lane matchup in Ornn. He's into the Camille. Likely going to fall behind very slowly, right? I think never underestimate the power of Ornn, 1 to 6, especially so many times you'll see Ornn, especially recently actually, solo kill things like a Gwen, Camille at level 6 just because he might have something like Spellbook, or he just catches people off guard with lethal. It's definitely very much a possibility, but the outscale will almost certainly happen. So Heretics, I'm not going to say they're on a timer. I think that would be too much of an extreme, but playing through the bottom side. And then for SK Prime, it's about, like we said, playing through that Camille, probably trying to make sure that you bleed resources on the bottom side as slowly as possible. Or if you want to try and shut down that win condition on the bottom side, I don't think it's necessarily out of the question that they try and look towards it when Phantomles on the Taliyah should have a whole bunch of early mid lane priority to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be I just want to get in the game. That's all I want to do. I really want to see, I want to see Heretics play. Obviously, we've had the chance to watch them during their finals and stuff like that, but this is a team who I think there's a lot of expectations on. We just spoke to, oh God, who did we speak to? Camillus. We just spoke to Camillus coming out of that last game.
Glad you're doing your job.
Complete brain fart there. But we just spoke to Camillus, and one of the names when I asked him about what teams he's looking towards, obviously, there was a whole big bravado about LFL, and I don't even know if it's bravado, to be fair. They have kind of earned the right to They've earned the right to gloat a little bit over in the ERL scene. But, Heretics was one of the names that they talked about. It's nice to have a new name on people's minds because, it's always been, this team or this team or this team. The teams that we've been seeing for a long time here in the Amazon EU Masters. But to have Team Heretics enter in, like we were saying, they've got a very, very small history. They played, I believe it was 2017 in Challenger Series. That was probably their biggest thing of note. And then they joined the Superliga this year, had a pretty poor spring, and then a killer summer. And joining the LEC next year, they are a team who everybody has their eyes on. And let's see what they're made of as we're on to the Rift for game number 5.
Game number 5. Had a lot of game number 5s recently. Of course, in playoff season at the moment.
Yeah, a little
just
different.
Yesterday, actually, the reverse sweep from Fnatic. Domestically as well, NLC. went to game 5. Just feels like everyone wants to just go to game 5 for some reason. Gives us a lot of League of Legends to watch. Of course, EU Masters, Amazon EU Masters group days, 6 games in a day. As much entertainment as you could ever want. As time to focus a little bit on this game here. Team Heretics, they're going to get a ward onto this red buff, so SK Prime will know it's there. They watched it be placed. Just more about what information will be traded across the board, as it looks like Alois actually went and got a red ward on that Grunt Blue. So they'll know that this will be Wukong starting up on the top side. Have a rough idea of where exactly both these junglers are going to be starting and likely pathing towards.
Somewhat expected with this bot lane as well. Again, you kind of if you're going to make an early play, you probably would like to get it, you know, set up on the Lucian and the Nami. So kind of expected on that sense, to be completely fair. Curious to see how this is going to go. You know, this bot lane, we've seen Lucian Nami so many times. You know, we've also seen the Renata, we've seen the Aphelios, but curious to see how they're actually going to play this lane out. Expect to see quite a lot of action or a lot of aggression from Jackspektra and whiteinn.
Definitely. A little more about that level 2, level 3 though, I think. For this Nami Lucian, the first couple levels. First 1, 2, sometimes can be a little bit slow to kick things off unless you're in a really one-sided matchup. But as you can see, Gadget and Seal doing a pretty good job of just kind of staving them off right now, even though Seal's health disadvantage. They've got the priority, and that's definitely what matters a little bit more right now. See what they can actually get done once that level 3 ticks over, though, and they have to start dealing with, you know, full combo dash-ins from Jackspektra. Going for the first strike, so looking for as much, you know, sort of burst, true damage as he can get out of that rune as well. Gold generation going to be nice over time, but for as much damage as he can get as well in the early stages. Like that!
Ooh,
yeah.
What? It's one of those things that always catches me off guard. I've seen it so many times. I know what this combo is capable of doing, but still, what the hell, man? Gadget.
You know, it doesn't even phase me anymore at this point. Like, I just see it happen so frequently whenever this combination gets locked in. I think the important thing to note is how much this duo lane can definitely struggle if it starts to fall behind. We saw it in the Rogue Mad series, I believe, and also actually in the Fnatic XL series over the weekend, where Nami Lucian gets locked in, falls behind. It kind of looks borderline useless. I think in this game, he should almost always have targets to hit, right? But if you're in range to potentially hit Phantomles, for example, you're in range to get hit by a seismic shove, or you can't really dash because of the Unraveled Earth, or you're in range for so many dangerous abilities. So yeah, Jackspektra is going to have a bit of a hard time as the game progresses, even if he gets relatively far ahead. Unless he is severely overtuned and overfed, I think it's going to be a pretty hard game. So expect to see a lot of this. bluerzor just kind of slipping in here, wave stacking up, and immediately Gadget and Seal just have to respect it. So much CS underneath that tower, and it's going to be missed. Likely, you can see there's no one on this side of the map to actually help defend this wave deny, and they're just going to just proxy it. I mean, they don't really have to do anything else. Already a level advantage, and this whole wave is just going to be denied away here. Great stuff from Team Heretics.
That's more than a wave, Jamada. That's like 2 waves they're losing, and a third is crashing as well. They get a plate passively in the backside as well.
Oh my
That
word.
is a little bit painful for Gadget. I say a little bit. That is mega painful for Gadget. He will at least get a cannon.
I mean, so for reference, because of course, if you hadn't noticed, if you've been keeping up with the ADC, you would know that this is obviously the same HUD format. And let's see, Gadget, that little purple bar in between his summoner spells and the Aphelios icon, that's his XP. He's down almost a full level off of that.
Oh.
That is absolutely absurd. Of course, he's going to catch up right now, but that's going to be a stacking wave that Jackspektra is going to go and catch. So he is severely ahead. In the top side, though, Aibo did have to blow his flash to that gank, so maybe that's something that Alois and Eckas can look towards once we hit that level 6 mark. A little more confirmed lockdown in the Glacial Prison. That Hex Echo on me, and maybe they can start to get that side lane pressure rolling, because right now the bottom side of the map already, despite that massive, you know, wave missed, Gadget is only down about 3 CS, and the wave is crashing in. So probably still feeling okay, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, the mental damage is already done.
Yeah, it is, and you know, he goes back to base, gets a Noon Quiver, catches back in, and oh look, the CS was close. Oh no, they're freezing. This is gonna be just horrific for Gadget because now they have to stay. They need to deal with this, and they're going to be down an entire item, or down an entire component, I guess, to Jackspektra. He's got the wave set up for himself, and yes, Gadget does have the flamer, and they're actually bringing Eckas down to see if maybe he can find an opportunity to set the team up, but they're so close to their tower, they're safe.
They need to break the freeze realistically. I think the fact that Gadget, of course, goes over to Infernum, just giving him that extra bit of wave clear, it's just going to enable that to be a possibility. But I think it's more about Eckas being there in case bluerzor, skipped some camps, immediately shows up on the bottom side, and that's why I was kind of worried for if SK Prime actually decide to look for a play instead of getting that wave in. Maybe it would give enough time for Heretics to get the jungler down here. Won't be the case though. Oh, really, really good stuff from Heretics. Wave management, really drawing a lot of pressure. That's a great seismic shove though.
Beautiful seismic shove. The stun's going to get flashed away as he's thrown down the ultimate. Phantomles is being burnt down. Zwyroo able to flash away. bluerzor, they're coming in. Eckas able to get himself the kill, but will trade out mid for jungle, and bluerzor will be able to shove the wave in. So Zwyroo probably okay with that. He did just get himself 300 gold for free.
I'm going to be honest. 2v1. Gets himself first blood. It wasn't even 300. He, oh no, sorry. Wrong way around. Yeah, gets himself 300.
It's okay, man.
I've played this game a lot now as well. That's the worst part about it. Yeah, honestly, I think he'll take that. Held onto his flash for a really long time. You could maybe argue greed, right? Just flash earlier. Get yourself away from the play. Had the ward there. He knew it was coming. Just felt like he could play this one out. Not lose the summoner spell, because of course now that he doesn't have this flash, he's going to be super vulnerable to mid lane ganks. Sejuani, I feel like people always say that Jarvan, he's the king of gank in the mid lane. Sej can feel as oppressive at times post 6 if you're in a mobile carry. Completely honest with you, just fly out of Fog of War, make sure prison. Feels so hard to deal with. It's now bluerzor. He's going to steal away the big chicken from the hungry boar. Let's take that one up. And now I actually expect to see a little more of this. bluerzor hanging around the mid lane to ensure that Eckas doesn't really just get free set up on to Zwyroo here. It actually looks like they're going to pass over the blue buff just to ensure that he can clear out these waves as safely as possible. Not have to worry about his mana 4 now with that in mind too.
Jackspektra going to shove this wave in. Got himself a... I don't want to say significant because it is a massive CS lead at this point, to be fair. Got himself like 20 CS up, or 25 CS up. And he's actually not even resetting, so he's just going to try and keep the pressure up, try and grow that lead as much as possible. Meanwhile, mid, flashless, very easy to gank this time. Phantomles will get locked down. Zwyroo holds on for a long time as in comes Monkey.
No.
Phantomles goes down, a 1-4-1.
Honestly, I've got to say, Zwyroo is playing out these 2v1s really damn well. Not getting immediately 100 to 0'd in that burst combo, just throws out the damage onto Phantomles, and it allows bluerzor to peel off of that Herald. Or actually, I believe it was Alois that was trying to stay up, and they're able to just find the 1-for-1 again. So honestly, great stuff from Zwyroo. First, he gets both flashes from the mid jungle of SK Prime, and then on the return gank, he's able to put out so much damage that when Phantomles decides to kind of hug that top side map, maybe rotate into the top side with Eckas, they're just able to find this 1-for-1. Great stuff from both the mid jungle of Heretics.
Yeah, really, really clean there. From those two. They're playing well. Like you said, Zwyroo, he's eating a lot of 2v1 pressure and, making it work for his team. Now able to shove the wave in, and bluerzor wants to return back to this Rift Herald. They've also pulled their bot lane over as well. They're currently making their way over. And I just want to see this gold get injected into this Lucian. Zwyroo, yeah, he's doing a great job, but you want to get this Lucian snowballing so that he can really be oppressive in the later stages. Well, I guess in the mid game more than the later stages, because you are into the Aphelios. So just want to get him going as quick as possible, get him online. They don't even have to show for the Herald. They are able to get back to bot lane in time to deal with this wave. But Phantomles has now got that Weaver's Wall, is level 8, so could potentially show his face towards the bot side. And it looks like Jackspektra is respecting the fact that they don't have any pressure, any vision on the bottom side of the map. So they are just playing it back until the wave hits the tower.
Well, for now, I really want to see Heretics try and snowball Jackspektra on the bottom side more. Like you were kind of alluding to, how will they do it, I think, is the big question, because normally when you see things like, Draven with a kill lane, Kalista lanes as well, try and play around these neutrals on the bottom side, the dragons. Heretics are really good at that domestically, especially in the playoffs, actually.
Yeah.
This Lucian Nami lane, despite having that massive early lead, they didn't really look to prioritize it too much. Go towards the Herald. It's actually quite funny. just in general, Heretics were such a dominant force. A lot of the times they were able to pick up everything, right? First Dragon, first Herald. This time around, despite a lot of the pressure that was able to be had from the bottom side, they don't actually pick up that first Dragon. Now looking for a little bit of poke. Not too bad with the culling. And even though, like, look, it doesn't look that threatening right now, but as bluerzor actually makes his way in with the Herald, remember they chunked out this tower earlier. Now they could actually get almost the full tower, but fortunately Eckas is actually here with Phantomles. So if an over-aggression play comes out from Heretics, a response is certainly in the offing.
No
they actually
way!
just
They
get the whole Herald.
it.
Wow!
Too much crowd control. That is really rough, and a great read there from SK. Really able to pull that back, and it's been interesting watching this team kind of adapt a little bit. They've become a team who are, as of this patch, been playing way more aggressive in the lanes and not quite as scaly focused as some of the other teams. Yes, though, they do have scaling options, especially on this team, but as you can see in the mid lane, they were playing heavily towards just taking out Zwyroo and playing very aggressive. Did it work perfectly? No. But it's been, you know, it's been good to watch.
Yeah, I mean, even on the top side, it felt like for a little while, a solid string of games in playoffs that, you know, Alois was kind of stuck on, you know, Ornn, Sejuani duty. Come into play-ins, however, complete swap up. A lot of Renekton's, a lot of Fioras. Now this time, he's even on the Camille, which is the solid matchup into Ornn. We've always known it as that historically. Now we're looking to see whether or not they'll be able to make some of that aggression work. Of course, he spoke about that mid lane aggression. Phantomles has had the opportunity to slip out of lane once or twice, but they've been playing directly into Zwyroo, taking him down twice. See if they can maybe look to do that a couple more times or start to move Phantomles around the map more like we just saw towards that bottom side.
Oh, wow. Alois is
oh, yeah, Ornn
taking a little bit of hurt here. Gonna shove this wave in. Monkey gonna slip forward another bush, and maybe there might be a little bit of shenanigans here. They've also got their mid
Viktor
as well coming up. They're going to throw everything down, catching him out. They do get a good ultimate from Eckas, though. Eckas has been jumped onto. Phantomles is teleported in, but already a kill has gone down to Heretics.
It just feels like Heretics are just first to the move. A lot of these plays they decide to make on the side lanes. Yes, mid lane, though, has all been about SK Prime, and I think they were even considering looking to dive. Phantomles there, but now look how much damage that culling does to Gadget. So much pressure. He's got the Infernum, though, so he should be able to wave clear this one out. Oh, that bubble's so close.
I could have been
like that. He would have died. No cleanse to get out of that one. Really good stuff from Jackspektra, just putting down so much pressure down here. And finally, starting to see some of that Nami Lucian, you know, pressure come to fruition. You know, I feel like, again, a lot of people, they overestimate how strong it is in lane. Yes, very powerful. We see what it could do with, you know, double shot plus E from Nami. It will 100 to sort of like 20 a lot of champions. Once you start to hit this one item mark, when you've got Gale Force as well, when the mandate actually starts to come in, that's when you can just outright threaten 100 to 0 with no response time from the enemy. You're starting to see Heretics are just utilizing this pressure so damn well. They've even slid Tybo into the bottom lane here. So I think they want this tower in whole. So if the plates drop off, we'll get a lot squishier. They could just use Tybo as an opportunity to find the play, but it doesn't actually have the ultimate, so a lot less threatening, and we'll just back away.
I mean, they only have Tidal Wave. Their ult economy is low at the moment. Are running a little bit low on that front, so decide just to chill it out. Plates have fallen off either way, so this tower should go down fairly quickly, and that will be at least first tower blood. Yes, they didn't get as many places as they liked, and Gadget's dead. Gadget's flashed. Gadget is going so low. He is dead. Jackspektra is also dead in response. They were just a little bit too clumsy on that play, and it's a 1-4-1.
Yeah, I think they were really committed to making sure that Gadget died. I will also say, I think Jack, because he walked so far underneath tower, I think if he kept on going sort of, you know, up, top, left, in that kind of angle, northwest away from the tower, he might have been able to have walked that one out. Maybe. The aggro can be quite, you know, finicky on the edges there, but decides to try and walk it back through. Doesn't quite have enough HP. We'll get a replay, and maybe we'll get that in confirmation. But again, we're speaking about that first item spike. So potent. Great reaction time from Gadget to flash away from that bubble. But so much damage is already done. You can kind of see... No, I think he's always dead. Doesn't matter. 1-for-1. At the end of the day, I guess that's kind of a good thing for SK Prime. You know, getting some gold into the Aphelios' back pocket. You know, silver linings. But...
I don't think he was denied much of a wave either, so, you know, it wasn't really amazing for Heretics.
The cost of it, though,
into Dragon.
Yeah, the cost of it, though, is no summoners now probably means that contesting this Dragon is pretty much a no-go. But they're definitely eyeing it up. There's the wall. But Eckas is just not going to be able to get into the pit at all, ever. Great stuff from Heretics.
Yeah, gonna pick that one up. That'll be their first dragon. We have got a Cloud Soul here, and actually, I know Cloud Soul gets a lot of slack, but actually, hold on. Okay, then they're gonna be okay. I'm gonna go back to my point. I think this team's okay with Cloud Drake. You know, they're short range. They want to get close. Cloud Drake enables them to get close.
All things considered, this is a pretty high value Cloud Dragon, man. Look, I've been selling Bibles on Twitter about about the value of Cloud Soul. Now look, is it, you know, objectively? Okay. This looks pretty spicy.
He dodges away. They try to get a damage onto Gadget. Gadget lives. He has the sustain. He has the double kill. SK Prime coming up huge in the bot side.
Oh, you'd think it's normally Jackspektra and whiteinn in those bushes looking for those kind of plays. They catch them out of their own trick. Really great stuff from Gadget and Seal. Eckas even comes down just to help secure that play. Really great stuff. Just catching Jackspektra and whiteinn off guard. No flash, remember, from the play from earlier on. And this ultimate sets up perfectly. It splits apart Jack and whiteinn. You can see, I think it clips whiteinn, but it doesn't quite manage to connect onto the Lucian. But it splits them enough that there's no real peel that can happen. There's no real, you know, target focus that can come down. And even though Gadget almost drops, even if he does go into the bailout, he would have killed whiteinn afterwards either way. Really great play from SK Prime. Now all of a sudden, that 1k gold lead individually that Jackspektra had over Gadget has practically just been vaporized. It's not there anymore.
Yeah. And, you know, it was a lot of work they put into setting that up. And I think, and I don't want to say it definitely stems, but, you know, the kind of relevance of Gadget does stem from that maybe over eager dive. Jackspektra had to use his flash. That could still be on cooldown if he'd played that a little bit less aggressive, a little bit less desperate to find that kill. And now Gadget able to punish pretty heavily, about to get his ghost back up as Zwyroo trying to hold, but doesn't realize there's three. Did see Seal there with his laser, but still got to hold fast for the moment. It actually looks like the rest of the team are coming down. Eckas will he spot out by Jackspektra? Looks like he's not going to catch him for now, and they're going to head back towards mid lane. So bot lane tower will hold for a little longer. There's a top side. A little bit of scrapping going on to Ibo as he's lost half his health to Alois.
It's Divine Sunder, Camille.
Yeah.
Smile. What, you know, it's rough being a tank in this meta when you have to deal with Divine Sunder champ still. Every now and again. They've hit quite a few nerfs towards it though, so I feel like it's not quite as oppressive as it used to be, but still very much a strong item. But hey, do we have a bit of downtime? I think we do. All right, back to the Bible.
We do.
Cloud Soul
Go.
and Cloud Dragons. Now, guys, hear me out. You know, individual dragons, they got buffed. Yes, Infernal, Mountain, Hex Tech Soul, very, very powerful. But just bear with me. 7% out of combat movement speed per Cloud Dragon, and then Cloud Soul gives you 15% movement speed, period, and then 50% movement speed on cast. If you have like 3 Cloud Dragons with Soul, you almost clock in at 100% movement speed. Like, you can't tell me that's not kind of broken, all right? I refuse to admit it. I think a lot of people hyper-focus on the fact that, you know, more damage, especially from Infernal and Hex Dragon, but guys, like that one analyst from NA said, 93%, guys, all right? It's the highest. It's the most winning Soul. No, but jokes aside, it's actually a much... there's a lot more value in it than you'd perhaps expect.
100%.
And especially in competitive play, roaming around, yada yadas, it's pretty good. And pretty high value if Heretics can pick it up, in my opinion, as well. More extra Kying now.
Cleanse comes down immediately into the fight as the Gorn is going to be there instantly, popping onto Gadget, make it a second kill as well for the side of Heretics. They're going to take mid as their prize. It was a fight started by SK Prime, but Heretics, they ended it.
What's the saying? Don't start a fight that you can't finish. SK Prime, they look for the pick. Heretics, they finish it more than appropriately. Alois is going to pick up this top side. Tier 1 on the bottom side. Phantomles, I think he's going to have to be forced away here. Zwyroo is going to get a pretty nicely timed laser and clear out that wave. So still a tower for tower trade, but those kills were picked up in the mid lane. Now, actually, they're just looking to force this. Oh, okay, they want Zwyroo at the same time, but he's got Banshees.
He does. He's going to be able to catch him for the moment. Gets a lot of damage off, and that is going to be the end of days with the rest of the team are coming in. bluerzor. Here comes Monkey. Phantomles is jumped onto. Goes golden. Gets the seismic shot, but Jackspektra slides in and gates the shutdown as well. Alois can't get away. Yes, he can. Sorry. He can get away, and he can get himself a Cloud Dragon unless Heretics want to contest this. It feels like they'd rather take the tower and just give this dragon over, but they're hovering in the area. Ivo has got ultimate up and available. Dragon goes down. And SK Prime can be able to pick this one up as Herald gets his charge off. They throw down the Ornn horn. They throw down the knock-up, and Seal is going to have his fate sealed indeed. Caught out by the bubble. bluerzor takes him out. Jackspektra on his lonesome, though, will fall. That was a massive misposition by him.
Yeah, he was looking to get aggressive onto Alois, who's the, one of the stronger members here of SK Prime at the moment. And, for it, getting cut in half by the Scissor Lady. Really nice pick in the river as well, however, from the rest of the Heretics to find themselves the kill onto Seal. SK Prime, however, walk away with the neutral objective, so not too shabby. We'll get a replay of the entire thing, and SK Prime just want to take this tier 1. They want to respond to that mid lane play, right? They want to get more than what they just got from the top side of the map. Definitely understand that they feel like maybe Heretics won't respond. But I really have to give a lot of credit to Zwyroo, man. Every time we see him in the 2v1, he just dishes out so much damage in response. Even if he goes down, it sets up for Heretics to always collapse and pick up more kills. And it's always this man on your screen that you see there. It's the Wukong, always there to pounce bluerzor. And then SK Prime, they go towards the dragon. The Herald gets dropped on the bottom side. And you can see Jackspektra's just kind of hunting, but just doesn't really respect the turn potential. As unfortunately, there you go, Glacial Prison into hookshot. You can't really get away from that one if you don't dodge out on the first part of the CC. Really great turn from SK Prime, and now they're looking to start a fight again in the mid lane.
SK Prime love these death pushes. That is their game plan.
It didn't work so well for them last time.
Not when a big old Ornn is going to throw his ram through the center of the team. Ivo dodges away narrowly on the seismic shove, but he's got a Nami to heal himself back up, so he'll be okay. And that basically puts a stop to that little play.
Yes, it does. All right. Disengaged. SK Prime, you have to, credit where it's due. Still looking for a lot of proactive plays here. I think, especially when this is what you could maybe consider one of Heretics' stronger points of the game. This sort of post-20-minute world, they've got the 2-item Lucian. This is the part in the game where Lucian gets really scary, right? Because maybe you're Gadget and you're in the mid lane, you're clearing the wave, all of a sudden, dash over the wall, Gale Force, you just get one shot by all of the damage that Nami gives to Lucian. Speaking of getting one shot, Eckas, he's dead.
Eckas is down. Jackspektra takes the kill. They're not going to push for anything else, but they may turn their attention towards... no, they messed up that blast cone, I think, and not going to turn their attention towards that one as Jackspektra does eat a little bit of damage. Going to take down that turret. And teleport's coming in. They're actually looking to go for this potentially. That does leave Alois to take the tower, but they can get Baron and get back to base. They shouldn't lose too much more here.
Couple seconds, but I think this Baron's going to drop a little bit too soon. Maybe they look for a fight after it. There's the Renata ultimate. There's pretty good guns on Gadget as well, but he's got not that much ammo left in the Calibrum. That's a huge
ultimate from Seal. Here we go. The wall comes down. They are able to get away from it now. Alois chasing them. Jackspektra's low, but he's able to get away. Ivo's going to get caught out, and he will sacrifice his life for the rest of the team. A sacrificial goat. As the Ornn goes down, the recalls come in. Baron Nashor onto 4 members of Team Heretics.
Sacrificial goat. I like what you did there, Jake. That was clever. That one's going to fly over a lot of heads. SK Prime, though, will pick up the mid lane tier 1 in response, but the Baron crucially goes over to Heretics. So I feel like they're okay with that trade. Once Ivo respawns up, expect them to just group up as 5. I feel like they don't even really care about spreading the Baron around too much for now. Gold lead isn't huge, however, and I think when you look towards the items, it's pretty much parry across the board, right? 2 items on both sides. You could actually now say Phantomles just picked up his Onyas, so has a little more to work with on top of that Archangel Staff and that Leandries. So we'll see how SK Prime want to respond. I think they've got very strong side lane options, of course, not just through Alois, but the fact that they've got double globals, albeit the teleport's got to come back up again from Alois, and the fact that they have that Taliyah wall means that they can always respond to plays quite quickly if Heretics decide to start to split up. So I think Heretics, to me, really want to try and deny that as a condition for SK Prime to play around and try and keep themselves together and play those front-to-back team fights. Allow Zwyroo to get out all of this amazing damage that he's got stacked up and ready. And of course, Jackspektra has that Infinity Edge now with the upgraded Gale Force, so he is locked and loaded.
Entirely so. 25 minutes on the clock with 20 seconds still. Dragon, the fight is immediately going to get broken out. Weaver's Wall actually does cut off a couple of members of Team Heretics away, and a good seismic shove is going to land onto bluerzor. So he's quite a lot of damage, but again, there's a Nami, there's a bit of healing they can throw down onto that, and with no ultimate onto Ibo, the Gravitum hits 5. Alois tries to jump in, has got himself a hook shot and an ultimate available, but Heretics maybe a little bit too chunked out to contest this, so Dragon number 3 going to go over to SK Prime, and we're starting to see a little bit of that scaling, and the short-range weaknesses that Team Heretics have starting to bite them a little bit here.
Yeah, it's just the crucial thing to me is that Heretics weren't able to deny re-entry from SK Prime through that choke, and now actually they're being collapsed on potentially. This could get a little bit messy. Heretics, how do they want to do this? SK Prime, they look pretty damn ready to try and go forward, but they don't really have any ultimates to engage with. It looks like the team's just going to walk away from each other for now.
Yeah, they did have Steel with ultimate if Heretics turned around, but Heretics, they were well aware that ultimate was up and available, and all they wanted to do was just dodge and wait out the engage, because SK Prime only could do so much there, and they were able to do so. So holding on now. Gold lead still in favor of Heretics, but you are starting to see, you know, Gadget come online. Gadget having a flash away, though, is going to get caught out, and Jackspektra takes him out immediately. Jackspektra's damage is phenomenal. A double kill for him. Meanwhile, Monkey gets a third, and Phantomles is going to be taken down as well. 4 members of SK Prime will fall, and Heretics, they're going to start to crack some towers here.
They don't have a minion immediately to try and get some more tower damage down, but they've got a wave coming. That's many members dying at this kind of time frame. I don't know if they've got quite enough time left in the tank. I think 10 seconds left on Gadget. Seal's coming up as well. 25 left on solo laners. They should just back away after the inhibitor, but that was sketchy business from SK Prime, getting Kuao in the mid lane, Kuao on the bottom side at the same time. If the waves were a little more synced up for Heretics, Jake, that could have damn well been the game. But what a really nice engage from Ibo here. They just see them kind of just sat on their hands in the mid lane. They rotate out of the jungle. Gadget gets a bloody well one-shot. Jackspektra's damage of the Infinity Edge. So unfortunately, Alois just gets absolutely deleted as well by Zwyroo, by bluerzor. On the bottom side, Phantomles, it felt like, was trying to help his solo laner out. His brother in arms ends up paying for it with his life as well. And lose the inhibitor, and now another Ornn onto Gadget. Dodge away though, and he's alright for now.
Nasty business, able to avoid a wave. That Rift, that inhibitor going down. You got Baron up in 1 minute 40. That's always going to be a point of pressure. Yes, Gadget is going to catch waves for now, but as long as someone makes sure that wave is marginally shoved up, it just means that Heretics can kind of play with their food at the Baron pit. So it's going to be something SK Prime really need to be on their wave management, because that Baron is going to give a lot of pressure over to the side of Heretics to play with.
Really will. And Heretics, though, maybe they want to kind of focus on the soul as well, but that's a minute after Baron spawns up, so expect Ibo. I say Ibo because I look at the left side of the screen. Ibo's the first name I read. Heretics will focus on that big purple worm. Honestly, SK Prime have a lot of tools to work with. You have to also imagine Gadget should be approaching that Infinity Edge. He should be pretty close to it as well. He's got that BF sword, got that agility cloak. Once he gets 3 items, I think this is super playable for SK Prime.
Hell yeah.
Until then, for now, it just feels like Heretics full control with Jackspektra at 4 items now.
Got the Typhoon upgrade as well, though, so a little bit more power to him on that side. You just saw the hat get picked up for Zwyroo as well. So they'll set up. Jackspektra, though, dodges away on the ultimate Royal Whip. You can say what you want there. Jackspektra does have to burn the dash. Actually didn't even flash, as he hasn't even got it. Jackspektra, that could have been very close for him. Did still have cleanse, but scary stuff, as we can see the mask get upgraded there for Zwyroo, so he gets his ornament just in time for the Baron, and this wave in the bottom side will be pushing up, so that's going to be a problem. And no ultimates actually burnt there from the side of Heretics in response 3 ultimates are down. So SK Prime struggling in the old ult economy department. Eckas is going to just lose his passive to the laser beam from Zwyroo there. Baron's been started up, and SK Prime, they're looking to contest this.
Yeah, I mean, with no ultimate, so this is so tricky. All of those turn tools, Ornn ultimate, Cyclone, even the Chaos Storm is just so dangerous to walk through this choke. And if Heretics control this entrance really well, getting into the river to actually fight is going to be so dangerous. That teleport's going to get cancelled. They're going.
Interrupted! What an interrupt! They find themselves the knock-up. They find themselves the CC chain. A double kill onto the Viktor to boot. Alois goes down. A triple kill for Zwyroo. And Team Heretics, the first seed from the Superliga, are showing up to play here on the first day of the Amazon EU Masters. Zwyroo is teleported into the base as well, and this might just be game over to Team Heretics. SK Prime, they tried their damnedest, they tried to hold, but that is going to be a 4th kill of the fight for Zwyroo. Aibo finds a knock-up onto Eckas. The Nexus goes down 17 kills to 8, 31 minutes on the clock, and Heretics look dominant in that game.
I'm going to be honest, I had no idea where that teleport was going, but it was like SK Prime just threw up a massive green flag and said, Heretics, engage on us right now, and just took the opportunity to slam members into the SK Prime frontline, and it was a complete whitewash. Zwyroo there with that triple kill. It felt like the pressure was always leaning into Heretics anyway, right? That was always going to be a mountain to climb, but that teleport at the end was just so strange. I'm not sure whether he was looking for a side lane option, whether he was looking for a flank potentially on the opposite side. I think there was a couple of wards behind the Baron pit actually for SK Prime to work with on the top side of the river. But yeah, that was a bit of a bizarre one. But Heretics playing that one out so spectacularly.
Yeah.
Early game wave denials, a lot of what Jackspektra and whiteinn were doing, fantastic to give a lot of pressure over to Heretics. Also, Zwyroo soaking up so many 2v1s, giving a lot of, extra room, I think, for bluerzor to come back in, slide in, make it a 1-for-1 on multiple occasions. It felt like anytime SK Prime tried to make a proactive play with that in mind, looking towards the mid lane or otherwise, that it was always responded with in kind by Heretics and up-traded at that as well.
Well, we actually have Jackspektra standing by for an interview. AD carry Lucian extraordinaire. Jackspektra, how are you doing after that win?
Hello, I'm doing very good. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome, happy to have you here. Let's talk about that game. It was, we've seen a lot of teams kind of lean more into scaling recently. You guys, you go for that Lucian Nami, you go for the aggressive bot lane, and you make it work. There was, I'll call you out on it, there was a little bit of a fumble when you gave that Aphelios the double kill, but for the most part, you guys look really, really crisp. Why did you go for like a more aggressive game, team, than a less scaly? Not going for the Jinxes and the Aphelioses, going in for that Lucian instead.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a gamble, I guess. We haven't practiced it very much, but I played a lot of Lucian before, and I feel like we're really good at playing like snowballing bot lanes. I mean, I used to be a Draven one trick, and the games that we played Draven in were really easy to play. So I think as a team, we're pretty good at playing around strong bot lanes. And in this game, I think it should have been a lot cleaner because it was such a good start. We zoned them off like 3 waves bot lane, right? But then we knew they were in the bush, or like we could feel it, but we still died to the cheese. So it was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate things, they can always happen on stage games, right? I want to ask you about, this split in general, and also sort of a grander question as well. The news of Team Heretics potentially being, well, not potentially, I think it's almost confirmed. Either way, LEC spot next year. Yeah. Obviously, you had a pretty big roller coaster of a ride in your off-season coming into this year. I'm not going to open up all the wounds, but, that in mind, does that also kind of maybe light a fire under your bum to have a super solid performance here at EUM, maybe get that spot that you were pretty damn close to getting this year?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think there's so many people that are hyping me up and so many people supporting me that it really feels like I can go anywhere. And for me, it feels like last year, I didn't think like I was good enough to be LEC at all. And now I feel like I've only gotten better and better. So for me, at least, I can definitely see myself in the LEC next year.
I feel like the meta is very much, we have got a lot of attention on the bot lane, and I feel like this EU Masters more than any other one has been like it's been a very bot lane focused EU Masters. So I want to ask you, about the bot lanes in the tournament. Are there any AD carries, any supports, any kind of duo lanes that you're maybe scared about playing versus or excited about playing versus? Who have you kind of got your eye on?
I think there's no bot lane that we're like scared versus, but I think the two best bot lanes are probably LDLC bot lane Exekick and DOS, and Vitality B bot lane Jack Troll and Jeskla. I think both bot lanes work really well together, and they also have really good players that are individually really good. So those are the two bot lanes that I'm most looking out for, and I feel like if I beat them, then it's like the doors to LEC open.
Yeah, you know what? I have every faith in you, Jackspektra. Thank you very much for joining us for the interview. Congratulations on your win, and hopefully we'll speak to you soon. All right, see you later.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye. So that was a pretty good game. We come in from game 3, which is a bit like, it was like a 50-minute epic, and then we have an under 30-minute, Lucian Nami domination coming in from the side of Team Heretics. Obviously, the expectations were there. This is a team who a lot of people have got their eyes on, the first seed from the Super League, a very, very stacked roster. And Zwyroo, honestly, played super, super well early, getting a lot of attention put into him and 2v1ing and trading 1-for-1 every time.
Yeah, I think a lot of the focus will be on Jackspektra and whiteinn in the bottom side. When you have Nami Lucian lanes, you're always going to kind of be the vocal point of the team composition. And yes, they did really play well, but I really just want to kind of, send that ship home with Zwyroo as well. Like so many moments like this where he's just 2v1, trades out so much damage in return, half health Phantomles here, just sets up for this engage, or re-engage rather, to ensure that they can always trade out. So many times we saw this from Zwyroo this game, and even rounds out the game with a triple kill as well. I'm sure that'll probably be at the end of these clips here. A couple of missteps definitely from Heretics individually, but it always felt like they had so many strong tools for these long-range engages, plus Jackspektra just dashing forward, finding so much burst damage. I thought the game was going to end here, to be honest with you, but yeah, fortunately for SK Prime it didn't, but it ended, honestly, quite as snappy as these picks ended up happening anyway.
They were a monster, and I think what we've seen, at least in our games today, it's really been down to the teams who are just super, super crisp in their comms and their play. It's very clear that they have a goal going into these fights. It's not, oh, there's an opportunity. It's, we're going to do this, set ourselves up for the opportunity, and if it comes, this is the order we're going to play this fight out in. And it felt like that was really the game plan. A lot of damage coming out from Zwyroo there on the Viktor. You'd think it would be the Lucian dominating the damage chart, but
look,
definitely all about Zwyroo.
I'll say it. If there were MVP votes after every single Amazon EU Masters game, my vote would be down for Zwyroo. I understand.
I think I'm with you on that one.
Jackspektra, Nami Lucian, yada yada yada, great stuff. Zwyroo was the man that really set things up for me for Heretics. Yeah. Always able to just, I think the first play you could maybe look at him like, kind of greedy to hold your flash, but he made it a 1-for-1. But then it also meant that there was a trade up in flashes, which then meant the next time that he got punished in the mid lane, because he dealt so much damage before he died, it was still ended up being another 1-for-1. And that really is an up trade for Heretics when you've got that scaling mage in Viktor who's always going to be happy to pick up gold in his back pocket. And it kind of allowed the snowball to happen for the Wukong as well on the Heretics side. And that just kind of continued to enable them for the rest of the game when they looked for more skirmishes elsewhere.
Well, it's time for us to catch our breath, so we're going to throw to a break. And when we're back, we'll be back with Unicorns and Love Sexy Edition, taking on Vitality B. So we'll see you in a moment.